Don Juan Fasho, the People Champ at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center, celebrating legacy and possibility, 100 years plus 100 years of Black history. Hey, you don't want to miss what we got for you. Come take a trip. You're going to learn about Margaret Garner. Let's go.
Now, when I talk about Margaret Garner, she was born in Richwood, Kentucky, which is about an hour drive from here, south of the Ohio River. Now, when we talk about enslavement in Kentucky, they didn't have large plantations, so she was born on a small farm. Wow. The only people on that farm was her mom, her dad, and the owner, John Gaines. Now, her mother, Priscilla, her father, George, was listed in the census as being Black. That means that they were dark-skinned. When Margaret was born, she was listed as mulatto. That means she had white blood. And we believe that her father was John Gaines. So, Margaret was able to get married at a young age. The age of adulthood across the board at that time was 12 years old. Wow. So everybody was looked at as an adult. She was married to Robert, who lived on another small farm. Now, Robert was a horseman. He loved horses. And so her first child was Robert Jr. He was listed in the census as being Black. Now, John Gaines decided that he wanted to go into politics, and he had a younger brother by the name of Archibald. Archibald just lost his wife because she fell down a flight of stairs. And so he let Archibald take over that farm. And so he married again, and during that time, a woman, the only way she could say no to her husband was in her third trimester. But her saying no to her husband gave her husband permission to go elsewhere to get his satisfaction. And the majority of the time, he would go into the slave quarters. So the two owners got together when Archibald's wife got pregnant. And they sent Robert to Covington to work in the horse stables. When he came back, he found out that his wife was pregnant. She gave birth to a son, Samuel, and Samuel was listed as mulatto. The wife gets pregnant again. Robert gets sent to Covington. He comes back. Margaret's pregnant again. She gives birth to a baby girl, and she names it Priscilla after her mother. The wife gets pregnant. Robert gets sent back to Covington. When he comes back, he finds out his wife is pregnant again. She gives birth to a baby girl, Mary. Now, they said Mary was the spitting image of Archibald Gaines. Wow. And he loved Mary. So the wife gets pregnant again. Robert gets sent back to Covington. And when he comes back, he finds that Margaret's pregnant again. Now he gets mad. He goes get the best horse, the best slave. He gets his mom and dad, and he gets Margaret and all the kids. And they head for the river. The river is completely frozen. He leaves the horses in Covington. They walk across the river, and they go to Little Bucktown. Now, Little Bucktown is where the Cincinnati Bengals Stadium is at right now. And so she had a cousin by the name of Kike. And Kike knew Levi Coffin. Levi Coffin was called the king of the Underground Railroad. He has a false bottom wagon, and he has said that he would take Margaret and the family all the way to Canada for their freedom. So Kite goes to get Levi. Levi finds out that he has left the family there at his house. He sent Levi back because he said, that's the first place they're gonna look for you. By the time Kite comes back, Archibald is out there. Robert tries to fight him off. Margaret sees that there is no hope. She runs and get a butcher knife, grabs young Mary, cuts her throat. Mother-in-law sees that, grabs the butcher knife from her, and then she runs and get a shovel, and she goes after Priscilla. Now, she went after those girls first before they could get her down. Why? Mama was raped. I was raped. I can see that for my children. In Cincinnati, because they were arrested, but they weren't arrested for the murder. They were arrested for running. And in Cincinnati, if you got caught being a freedom seeker or runaway, you had 1 hour to find a white man that could identify you as being free. Wow. They had a trial, and this trial lasted for over 3 weeks. People from all over would come. They wanted to know what was going on in America that these women would rather see their children dead than see them enslaved. Now, as a person of color, we were not allowed to speak, so she had to have a white man as a lawyer. And the kids, they said, played under the table, so the whole family was there, but they couldn't say anything to defend themselves. No woman could say anything in a courtroom at that time.
Wow.
So they sat there quietly. But during a recess, an abolitionist white woman by the name of Lucy Stone, she stood up and gathered everybody's attention because she looked at the kids under that table, and this is what she said. The faded faces of the Negro children tell too well the degradation that the Negro woman has to face. In her despair, if she feels that it is better to send her children back to God, who among you has the right to say so? The courtroom got really quiet, and then the men realized that there was a white woman standing up for a black woman. Then they all got upset and got mad.
Wow.
But she is written in our history books, that story. Now, what happened after that, they were found guilty of running away. Archibald grabbed them immediately to take them back. The city of Cincinnati wanted to say they wanted to try her for killing her baby, but they were going to actually give her their freedom. And Archibald knew that, so he kept moving them. Margaret did give birth to another baby girl, and then Archibald decided to sell her to a cousin in Tennessee. He put her on a steamship. That steamship collided with another ship. Some people said Margaret jumped off with the baby. Some said she fell off. They got her out. They couldn't find the baby, a girl. But Robert was allowed to go to Tennessee to see Margaret because Margaret had caught typhoid fever and she was dying. But before she died, she made Robert promise that he would never marry again until he got to freedom. She died at the age of 24, having 5 babies. Only one by her husband. And so there is a book that was written, Beloved. Yes. So that was written about her. But here we have a pot, and we found this on the farm in Richwood, Kentucky. We believe that Margaret used this. And there's a portrait that they painted because they said during that time that Margaret was a mad woman, not a desperate woman. I believe that she was just crazy. She was desperate. She wanted to see her girls into freedom. And she thought the only way to see that was to send them back to God. But as you can see, the only person that lived was Robert, Robert Jr. and Samuel. But who do you see laying down there? That's Robert. Now, I don't know during that time if they wouldn't put a baby that down there, but why they put Robert down there, I don't know. So that is the story of Margaret Garner and her life.